live. That's your cue to go nuts, everybody. It's time for Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup. I'm your host, Travis, and today I am here with my two good friends, Matt and Chrissy. Matt and Chrissy, say hello to everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, woo. This is the first ever multiple person stream that I've had. Can you believe that? I have two people on my stream for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to do a first for the two of
Rosanna's.
you. Yeah, Rosanna's on there, yeah.
Love it.
Yep, you broke the record for most people on a stream. So, as a
Boom.
reminder of what the show is, this is Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, in which I have a chat with a friend and we talk about whatever y'all want to talk about instead of what I want to talk about. Because what I would choose to talk about is I would choose to talk about Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, the video game. But instead of talking about it, I'm just going to play that alongside having this chat with the two of you. And I already reminded you before we started, but it's important to put this preface out there that the episode only lasts as long as the game does. If the character in the game dies, then the stream ends. And I'm not going to immediately hang up on the two of you. That would be really rude. I won't just be like, I won't suddenly be gone. I will instead wrap up the stream and then say, okay, here we go. We're going away, and then say bye to the internet, everybody, and then we'll move on from there. And then you and I can continue our conversation if we want to, the two of you.
All right.
Sounds good.
The character is the farthest I've ever been, so that makes this pretty dangerous. And I'm very nervous about this character, so I will be going extra slow in the game this time because I don't want to screw this up. At the same time,
loot in this game or what?
Is there good loot? Yeah, I have some good loot. I don't know if you can see this, but my minotaur here has these really nice, tall, red, kinky boots, like thigh-high boots on.
Yeah.
They're pretty nice. They're just a basic pair of boots, but they sure do look nice on him.
Yeah.
And that's maybe a good...
That's good.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good segue into the topic that we wanted to talk about this week. This is the first time that I suggested a topic to folks before we got on the stream. And I hope that's okay, but this time I really wanted to talk about something that I know is near and dear to the two of yours' heart, which is the Rupaul Drag Race. But also Rupaul Drag Race, specifically the fantasy league that you have for Rupaul Drag Race.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay,
you helped us.
You did.
I did. We want to get to that part, but I want to start with your excitement and fandom over RuPaul's Drag Race, from the beginning. Have you been? How the two of you find it? Have you both been fans since the very beginning? It show's been on since you've known each other.
Yeah, no, we have not been fans since the beginning. I desperately wish I could claim that. But I'd say it was at some point in the pandemic, both Fabian and Geraldine were fans. And I think that the show gained a lot of fans during the pandemic for whatever reason. I guess just good timing with when a particular season came out. So I started watching it from the beginning, and I just instantly fell in love. It is the reality competition show. It has a little bit of everything in it. The queens have to do their makeup, they have to do their hair, they have to be able to make clothes, they have to be able to perform on stage, dance, lip sync, sometimes sing, act, do stand-up comedy. They are expected to be everything. So it is the most amazing competition show, reality show.
Think about that. Think about how previous to this show, right, there were competition reality TV shows.
Yeah.
We had the Project Runway, right?
Right.
Which was making the clothes and stuff, which was a fantastic show.
Absolutely. Love
And
it.
and American Idol.
Yep.
And this smashed those together in a really glorious way.
So You Think You Can Dance? Remember what
Nice. Absolutely.
What was another one? Was the comedian one that was a stand-up one?
Last Comic Standing.
Last Comic Standing.
Yeah. They have to be able to do all of this stuff. It is incredible, and it's just a lot of heartwarming tug on your heartstrings stories from these queer people and like what they've gone through in their lives and how amazing they've done and been able to turn such a like difficult time around, and hearing their stories, like, so you have that super heartwarming aspect to it as well. And there's usually lots of fun celebrities and incredible fashion. So anyways,
so what season did you jump in at?
I just went back and started watching it from, I want to say season 2, because I couldn't find season 1 initially, and then just went and basically got caught up from there. And so when the first opportunity to watch a live season, Geraldine and I got Matt involved because we were going to watch it together here on Friday nights when it aired. So Matt started watching it right along with us.
So when you started going through the back catalog, did he watch that through with you? Did you watch it through?
No.
No. I was really jealous of her experience because she would just be like laughing her ass off. And then like her and Geraldine would have these like super funny stories about these like great characters. You know, these drag queens were like so funny and talking about their content on social media, and I felt like honestly a little bit left out.
Yeah.
So I started watching, I think it was season 14. Yeah, season 14, that was the first one where we were all watching it live for the first time. And I had kind of missed appointment television a little bit during the pandemic.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, we just got so used to just binging everything. And so the idea of like every Friday night, like Geraldine coming over to our house and watching Drag Race and talking about the queens and the competitions and their looks and their jokes and stuff was just really exciting. And I was like, I just want to, that sounds really fun to be a part of that.
Oh my God, I'm so envious of that.
Yeah, and so I've watched live for the last 3 seasons, I think, the 3 US seasons. But I've actually now gone back.
Oh, there was an All-Stars.
Right, yeah, the All-Stars, yeah.
What's All-Stars compared to regular?
All-Stars is like they just pick some they usually pick non-winning queens in the past to come back for like another chance. And
oh, I see, like Road Rule Real World All-Stars.
Yeah.
Like they just like those people, like Survivor All-Stars. That's so silly to me. Of course, that makes sense.
So Matt got to watch like the best All-Stars of all time. He came in at the moment when they did an all winners All-Star season, and it was just, I mean, it was just fodder for fandom. Like it was everything. It was so amazing. And so it was really a really fun like ride, I guess, these last 3 seasons that we watched live, or 4 now because we just watched the last All-Stars also. And so Matt was like instantly bought in.
Yeah. We've been to like, we've seen multiple of the queens live.
Oh yeah, we've gone to a lot of live shows to see like the Rupaul girls and just like other like local queens too. And when we traveled to LA, we made sure that we went to drag shows while we were there. And also because Fabian is a big fan, like it's a new connection for us with Fabian, who Matt has known since middle school.
Yeah, like Fabian was watching it just on his own.
Right,
he really wasn't like, I think with his girlfriend, but he really wasn't like sharing the experience with outside of his household with other people or anything.
Every once in a while he'd be like, you need to watch this show. But I had actually watched another drag competition show called Dragula.
Oh shit!
Dragula just got shouted out in our comments in YouTube.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Spawned spin-offs like Dragula as well.
Yes. So Dragula I watched like honestly several years ago, like before I really even knew about Drag Race.
You gotta tell me all about it. Tell me what Dragula is. I have no idea.
So Dragula is basically like a darker version of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Also, love it. I'm so excited about this. This is the most exciting thing.
It's a mixture of all the kind of all the things that I just told you about Drag Race, except add the element of fear factor into and and so the queens are like more darker, like goth, more like monster,
more gory and
more
like,
gory,
more like makeup and like gruesome makeup and stuff like that.
So they're like the darker like versions of the queens that are on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I'll be honest, I think you've forgotten what Fear Factor was.
No, they had to like eat bugs.
They had to eat bugs. Okay. I was wondering about that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, they had to like get needles stuck through their skin.
Ooh.
Like they had to do that. I'm referencing it
You're
on
serious.
purpose.
Oh, okay, you're serious. But
I'm serious.
But the goth part isn't cut from Fear Factor. It's the contest that they had to do.
The goth aspect is like the presenters, the hosts are called the Boulet brothers, and these drag queens just have a very like dark goth like sort of gore. I'm trying to think of the right word to describe this style of drag, but so it's basically they kind of set the tone for the drag that's on the show.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I thought that show was incredible, and no one I knew watched the show. I would bring it up, or Matt would catch me watching it. He'd be like, "What the fuck is this crazy?"
Okay, so the first season that was on Netflix though was like it was very homemade.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bootleg.
It was very and like so.
What makes it seem that way? Like it's handheld cameras
of the production.
Yeah, the production quality, like the stages, or like like the tables the judges would be at, which would be like
a folding
like
table.
A folding table with a sheet over it or something,
But I stumbled upon it on like Netflix or Hulu. I just stumbled upon it. I was like, this show is weird, and then I just like ran through like 2 or 3 seasons, like ate it all up so quick, and I was like, whoa, that was weird. And I was telling Fabian about it. He was like, well, then you need to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. So.
Oh, wait. So you found Dragula before Drag Race?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's unusual, right?
I think so, probably.
Yeah. I do think Dragula has gotten a lot more traction now. Like it's pretty popular now.
Yes.
Oh, really? How many seasons does that have now?
I don't know. I kind of fell off of it because I don't really know where to watch it.
Oh, it's not consistently on one platform. No. It's been moving
not
around.
That I'm aware of, no. So I just got super into RuPaul's Drag Race because there was so much content, because it's about to have its 16th season, regular season, but then it also has franchises in France, UK, Thailand, Mexico, Australia, Canada. So it's like there's so much content there that I just got lost in the world of RuPaul's Drag Race. And
for sure.
So we're about to, in January is when they always start the new season. And so we're about to get season 16 of like the flagship series.
Yeah. Today they just introduced all the, was it 14 queens that are going to be on the cast.
Did you? Is there a video or?
Yeah, they did some videos on social media to kind of introduce them. They did posts on Instagram and stuff for each of the queens.
Have you watched any of those yet, or you have any early opinions on season 16? You want to like go off on some rants about these? Yeah, the early favorites.
Yeah, so immediately I'm watching. They put out basically like little promos of each queen, and they do a reveal video of all of them entering the workroom for the first time, which is like what happens at the beginning of the very first episode. Mm-hmm. So I watched like them all introducing themselves, and I went and followed all of them on Instagram.
Okay, good. And so that means you probably can go see their work leading up to them being hired. Yeah,
for sure.
That's got to be great research.
Exactly. So, and now what's fun is that a lot of drag queens have what, they have like drag children, drag daughters,
Excuse
drag
me?
family, or drag houses. So now what's really fun is that in these later seasons, you see queens that are like from the house of Muse. Candy
Got
Muse's
it.
daughter is
Oh,
now
got it.
this season. And there's the house of Jate, and Cornbread Jate's daughter is going to be on this season. So it's like you have expectations for the quality of the queen and what type of queen they might be. Are they going to be more comedy? Are they going to be more fashion?
Mm-hmm.
So I get so excited when this stuff starts coming out, because then I'm like, get all reignited for the drag of it all again, and then start listening to all of my podcasts that are like reviewing the promotion and the reveal of the new cast. So it's a big day for me.
All of I want to go back to all of my podcasts. Can you please tell me about all of the podcasts? You're saying there are multiple podcasts that you listen
Yes.
to.
So some of them are from queens that have been on the show.
Okay.
So they're talking about, they'll go back through each queen one by one, talk about their look, talk about, if they know them, if they've worked with them before, like these, just getting kind of the first glance and first reactions of the queens. So I listen to a couple that are, like I said, from RuPaul Drag Race contestants, former contestants. But then I also just listen to some that are like people that just love RuPaul's Drag Race, that do like what do you call it? Like
Just recap podcast.
Yeah, like recap podcasts of that are just fans of the show itself. Yeah. So
do you want to call out any of those, or anybody that you're a big fan of?
Oh yeah, Race Chaser is Alaska and Willem, and they have one that is weekly. And so even when there's not a current season on, they will actually go back and like do a recap on an older season that they've never talked about before, and they'll rewatch an older season.
Or do they watch like the French seasons and stuff?
Sometimes they do, not all of them, but sometimes they might. This one in particular, they go back to older seasons because there's so many, and their podcast is, I think, existed for 5 years, so they have other ones that they can rewatch.
Absolutely.
And recap.
So many years worth of stuff to go back to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's never ending. And there's Sibling Rivalry, which is Bob and Monet, Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange. And
I know Bob the Drag Queen.
Yeah, Bob the Drag Queen is on tour with Madonna right now. Oh my God. Bob the Drag Queen is a former New York City queen. So maybe you've run into her on the streets of New York. Who knows?
Maybe.
But she now is in LA.
There was recently a Dungeons and Dragons show on called Dimension 20 that had a season with Bob the Drag Queen in it.
Yes.
And I watched that. It was fantastic.
And Alaska and Monet.
Yep. They were all great.
I listened on their podcast. They had the guy and
Brandley
they talked
Mulligan.
about it. But like I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I've been wanting to watch it because when they had the Dungeon Master on, I was getting so excited about it.
He's the best. He's incredible. His improv skill. He's my absolute biggest hero in the world. Brandley Mulligan is. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, that's cool.
I almost offered that I would give you my login to drop out to watch the show, but it's $5 a month, and they and you should just plop down the $5, watch the season, and then not watch any more shows if you don't want to.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely worth it there. But Brindley Mulligan's so great, and they were such great improvers. So swinging back to the drag queens, right? You got done saying that they're comedians and they're fashion and they're singing and they're dancing. But then they just they can pick up anything. They're incredible because they just this is improv. I'm already great at improv. I just didn't know it. Like I didn't go to improv classes.
they know it, because imagine a drag queen in a club, and she is hosting in a club full of a million like drunk people, and they
Absolutely.
have to like
Crowd
banter with
control.
the crowd.
Crowd
Yeah, so
control.
it's like it so much, like they have so much charisma. Like they're just
Yes.
incredible entertainers. And so we're just fully bought in. Like I
Absolutely.
love it so
So
much.
I need to go back a little bit further though. Like you, Chrissy, what was your like? What was your relationship with drag? Like even before Dragula, like were you like super into it, or that era right there where you were starting to be like exposed to it, like, or were you already a huge fan of drag and trying to eat it up as
No,
much as you could?
no, I honestly the limited exposure to drag that I had was like from movies like The Birdcage, and from like the streets of Royal Oak, where like the drag
Mhm.
queen bingo ladies are like yelling at you on the mic on the
Yep.
street, like that type of thing. Like it was very limited.
Nothing
And
negative, just very limited.
no, yeah, just extremely limited. And I always thought, I was like, I guess when Fabian would tell me about RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like, I don't know if that's for me. Like, I don't know if this like queer content, like, am I like crossing a boundary that this is like not an area for me? Like, this is content for another group of people. And I was like, oh no, this is just bliss for everyone. This is just incredible
Oh,
entertainment.
I ran into quite a problem here, but I think I can get
Uh-oh.
out of it.
Is that your
Um,
health bar that's in half?
in half up here, yeah, health bar in half. I was trying to run away from some dudes, and I did successfully run away, but then I ran into this lady, El Rocha,
Okay.
and that's trouble.
No good.
Oof, this lady is real trouble. So I'm gonna try to blink away from her.
Oh, wow,
I'm
you
gonna
can
try to
blink.
teleport out of here. Yeah, I can blink. Um, so this is one of the scary moments, but I think I can get away. I'm gonna blink. I'm gonna blink all the way over here. That's good. And now I'm going to try to teleport to a completely different place on this board. And maybe we'll get away from her. She's actually not that dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But this banishment skill, if I got banished right now, that would be very bad for the overall game. I'm going to throw a boomerang at her real quick.
Whoa.
No, I'm going to throw a silver javelin at her instead.
Oh, jeez. And what, try to just kill her?
Yeah, we might try to just kill her. Oh, shit, she just threw a flame at us.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. Good, we've successfully got away. And I'm going to heal up to
Oh.
full. Boom. Okay. Crisis averted. I'm still in danger quite a lot, but crisis averted. Okay, whew, there.
Boots still looking fierce.
The
So
boots look great. Yep, we're fine. Beef.
Mhm.
This guy's my character's name is Beef, by the way. Beef Boterham.
Okay.
Beef Boterham
Like
the fifth.
the fifth. Okay.
Beef
Well, long
Boterham the
line.
fifth, the Severer.
Oh my goodness. You got an
Um,
axe there? Cool.
he's still looking good.
Okay.
So where were we before that?
We were talking about like what drag was to us before the show, like what we knew of it,
Right.
or
Yeah.
But it's interesting because Chrissy, you're basically saying that Dragula brought you into the drag world,
yeah.
but you were hooked by that, and then you got and then you found Drag Race, and you were like, oh, this is my society, this is my world.
Yeah, I guess.
Matt, for you, the interest was the art as well as the competition, or was it just competition?
I think it's no, I don't. No, it's the art. Yeah, I love the creativity and the personalities.
Yeah.
The competition of it, as I'm sure we can talk about, is like basically completely arbitrary. So
Just comes down to whatever RuPaul and 3 friends decide.
Not even 3 friends.
Right.
Just RuPaul, basically. So, I mean, yeah, the competition is.
It's basically RuPaul's world, and we're just living in
yes,
it.
Right,
yes.
okay.
This is the Runiverse.
She can straight up she could straight up just overrule everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
she could snap us all away with her.
Yeah. But like getting, like Chrissy kind of mentioned, there was such a long backlog of content with like these great personalities, these ongoing jokes, these running gags.
Yes.
Like there's, and also like the show is basically timeless. Like
yeah, that makes sense.
You don't even really go outside of the studio. So it basically looks like the same set over like 20 years.
Right.
Almost.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there was just so much to the world, and like learning all the personalities, and and seeing the creativity and their comedic timing is just unbelievable. So for me it was more about just getting to know the different personas, and just getting excited about the really great performers.
That's awesome. So which were some of the early season folks that you were in love with, or like that really set you into this avenue?
I mean, my favorite drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race is a queen from, was it season 5, 6, 2, 1?
Who?
Bianca.
Oh, season 7.
Oh, season 7.
Or sorry, 6.
Okay, season 6's winner was a New York queen named Bianca Del Rio, who basically like she kind of brands herself as like the drag queen Don Rickle. And she's an incredible comedian. Her drag persona is great, and so she was definitely, when I started going back and rewatching them, some of the older stuff, she was the one that like just her comedic timing was so awesome. And she's the one that really stuck with me.
Yeah, so once Matt watched
once he knew that there was an insult comic on there, he was like,
yeah, right. Once he watched the first season live with us, and he was like, okay, I'm in on this, I was like, well, now I have to take you back into the annals of RuPaul's Drag Race. And so I took him back to, we started with my favorite season, which is season 5, with my all-time favorite queen, who is just a goofball that is living in her own universe of and her name is Alyssa Edwards, and I love her so much. I got to see her live in Cleveland in last year, and then we saw her again this summer at Royal Oak Pride. She was there performing.
Oh, that's cool.
And
she waved at you.
Yeah, during her like VIP like meetups, she was basically just on the side of the stage meeting with people. So I was just watching her talk to people and do a meet and greet. And at one point in between her meeting people, I was just waving at her like an insane person. and she waved back at me, and it made my fucking life.
We have it on video.
And we have it on video.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
good for you.
And yeah, that season is just primo, classic, everything. I would encourage a lot of people to start there, even though all the seasons before it are also amazing. If you're trying to get someone into it, that one has like amazing drama.
Yeah.
Because it's also too I feel like it's early days of social media before people are really seeing how they act on the show might be a good or bad thing. Like if you're too spicy, or you getting in too many fights, it might be a bad thing, and it might affect you in the outside world. Like the drama is real, And
Oh yeah, okay. So here's wait. Let me interrupt you right there for a
yeah,
moment because that's an interesting aspect because these are performers.
yes,
Unlike in Survivor, where you can be an asshole to everyone around you in order to like attempt to win the game.
right.
Like you can't really be an asshole in this show because it affects your livelihood afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Like people might not book you. They might think you're a bitch. And so are you going to cause problems in the dressing room? And maybe they don't want to book you. And actually,
Totally.
some of the queens in some later All-Star seasons talked about that and were supposedly coming back to the show because they wanted to like
Rep their
have some
image.
exactly. Yeah. So, but the early seasons are really good for some of that like feels more like real drama where
Yeah.
the newer seasons it feels a little bit more like all right well everyone's so affected now by
Oh, that's why that happened.
but so I feel like it can change how they interact a little bit on camera but yeah, there's a lot of like early queens that I still follow and dearly love.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot
10
of good.
seasons since you started. Or it's 11 now.
Yeah. Of the main one. Yeah.
And you two have watched a bunch of the stuff on the other seasons. Like you've watched the French one and
You know, I haven't gone as deep. So I've watched some UK seasons and some Canada seasons, but the ones that are in other languages, I haven't. I haven't watched Australia either.
okay.
So
In other languages, that would be tough.
yeah, I mean, I think they're subtitled, but
Of course.
Jokes might not be the same.
yeah, exactly.
Humor,
Right.
The
There's
songs, the music.
references. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't like there's bigger fans, more dedicated fans that have for sure. Like I think Fabian even.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fabian, I think, has watched all the international
Yeah,
stuff.
I think he's watched all
Wow.
the international.
Yeah.
So I do admit to getting some drag burnout because I will go so hard on it, like watching it and doing the podcast and following their social media. That by the time the season's over, I'm like, okay, I have a drag hangover.
Absolutely.
I gotta just chill a little
So
bit.
do you feel like, but right now, heading into the new season, you're not feeling that at all. You're feeling the opposite. Like, let's
No,
go.
no,
Let's
exactly.
go. It's time.
Exactly.
And then but Rue only hosts a handful of
Yeah,
them.
Rupaul does
Oh, of
not
course. I think I knew
host
that.
international ones. Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
I understood that. Yeah.
but she hosted UK and Australia, and actually some former contestants host some of the other franchises, which is pretty cool. There's a lot.
Okay, so let's get started talking about the fantasy league. So how did this come up? How did you? How did this concept occur?
To be honest, I think we must have heard from Joe and Emily.
That's right.
Maybe
That's what I
that
thought.
they had one.
Yeah.
One of the
Joe
first.
Shields, friend of the pod.
Let me pause. Yeah, okay, Joe, friend of the pod.
Deep friend of the pod.
Okay, so let me interrupt you because one of the first words out of your mouth, Chrissy, was that RuPaul's Drag Race is the greatest reality TV show competition on Earth. And I believe there are a series of people who believe there is a far different TV show that is of equal standing, if not more so, which is the Great British Bake Off. So, since none of them are here, why don't you make your argument for why RuPaul's Drag Race is RPDR is significantly better than GBBO.
Well, I also love Great British Bake Off.
Oh, yeah.
So
I knew you were going to say that, but you still have to make the argument.
We dearly love it, and we just finished the season last weekend, so we were super happy with the winner. But my argument is that show is really sugary sweet and makes you feel all good inside, where RuPaul's Drag Race has a little more spice, has a little drama, keeps you hanging on the edge of your seat a little bit more. So where Great British Bake Off is like a warm hug,
Absolutely.
and RuPaul's Drag Race is like a party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they host at like a lot of gay bars and stuff. They'll do like a live airing.
Oh yeah, this like creates a full economy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
queens are out here, like this propels. Now I know that the bakers on Bake Off do probably go off and like get great jobs and work in bakeries after being on there, or maybe even have books or social media accounts that blow up. These queens who maybe came from almost nothing are working so hard 6-7 nights a week doing gigs where they're not making a ton of money or living off tips. They are like catapulted into like new stratospheres where they have the ability now to make more money, buy better drag. So they're supporting like the designers, the people that make the hair for them, like the people, the bars, the gay bars that are showing the TV show, or where they're performing, like the merch that they have. Like, I mean, it's like spirals off in so many different like wonderful directions for the queens, for the fans, for the makers of the hair, the clothes, like everything that's involved in drag, the jewelry, the gay bars, like keeping them open and thriving when I know a lot of them across the country have been closing. So and I think it's propelled like just the art of drag in general, so that local queens probably get more business and get more gigs too, just because it heightens or elevates the
awareness.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That makes total sense to me. That's incredible. So, okay, point taken. I appreciate both shows, but I just wanted to hear you crush the other show while you had the chance.
Also, like they're just focused on one thing, which is baking.
Yeah.
Where the queens on this show, like I said, they got to do it all, baby.
Okay, they're dead. Okay, it's enough. You killed it.
R.I.P. Prue. Prue's toast.
Prue and Paul are done. So
completely crushed.
But guess what? Noel could totally be like on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Noel would be a great guest host.
Yes, on the UK. Guest judge on the UK. Oh my gosh. Perfect crossover.
I have the perfect crossover. They should have a season of the Great British Bake Off entirely filled with drag queens.
Just the queens?
Just queens.
I mean, that would be fun.
So they did kind of try to do a show like that on Hulu.
Yeah, but it was all fake.
Right, it was totally fake.
It was totally fake, and it was just
like
for
scripted.
Just for the jokes.
Yeah. What was it called? Drag Me to Dinner?
Drag Me to Dinner, yeah.
Bianca Del Rio hosted it.
Oh man, so it's real.
With Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Every iteration and combination of game show has been created now. It's all done. I can't come up with a new one.
No, that's it. That's why like major networks don't even try anymore.
Don't even try. Fuck it. So explain to me the how the fantasy league works. I happen to know, but I actually have forgotten. So you'll have to remind me. Yeah, that's actually what you're doing.
Yeah, so we knew that Joe and his crew that regularly watch it had some sort of fantasy type game, and I know that's something you and I have dabbled with in the past, the non-sports
fantasy
concept, so we never really got the lowdown on how exactly Joe and his friends ran theirs. But we wanted to we thought it would be a fun way for someone like me too, who is new to the series. And we wanted to find a way that we could play a game along with it that maybe was a little less complicated than having weekly check-ins and, weekly scoring. And it was how can we just do something and that'll make, maybe that's easily accessible. And then we can just kind of set it and forget it. So, I took it from a concept in fantasy football. Is it a confidence picks maybe? I don't know. I've never really done them, but the idea is every week you rank the NFL teams highest to lowest, on the highest being like, I know they're going to win, so I'll get the most points, and the lowest being, I don't know if they're going to win. They're probably going to lose, but if they do, I'm only losing 1 point,
Right.
like something like that, right? So I've never really done that much in fantasy football, but I know Fabian has, and so I was kind of thinking, what if we did that with the queens after we got an initial impression of them?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll watch the first episode, right? They introduce all the queens. Usually one gets kicked off on the first week. And then after that first episode, we would then...
So no confidence in that first one.
Yeah, no confidence for the first one. Yeah. And then by the second week, in between, we'll rank the queens, like, the top being the one we think is going to win. And then, rank the, one being the person that we think is going to get kicked off next week. And the idea is that when that queen gets kicked off, right, you accrue points each week that queen is on the show, right? So if there's 15 queens, right, the one who you think is going to win, we want to rank her at the very top, so she gets 15 points, every time she's on, or she gets credit for each week. She's on the series, and yeah, so that's kind of how we started doing it. So you kind of just set it right before week 2, and then just kind of let it roll. And then I would kind of like update our rankings once a week, and just note which queen got kicked off, cash out their points, and that's it, because they're not going to get any more points.
Right. And so if you chose somebody that was to win and they went out early, you are losing out on a ton of potential points.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that you get no points in that moment. It's that you lost out on a ton of potential.
Right. Yeah. It's like the scoring is kind of like also with like, like March Madness brackets, right? Like you currently have this many points,
and you could be winning at the end of the
legs. You could have this many points.
Yes.
Right. This is like how many points you could actually get if everything goes your way. But yeah.
Because so you could at one point be way ahead or somewhat ahead, but you're out of points that you can acquire at this point.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if your number 2 queen gets knocked out, in week 5, sure, you're gonna accrue a lot of points, but you could have had 10 more weeks of points.
Right.
Really. So yes, it can be a little bit. The scoring is a little bit misleading to start the game sometimes. Because we have added a couple new people to the game.
Yes, a friend of mine from work who I basically became friends with and bonded over RuPaul's Drag Race with her, and
nice.
We're like, did we just become best friends? So her name's Natalie. She's now in our league, but has not met anyone else but me. And we have Geraldine, who we watch with every week. We have Fabian and Matt Rickle and his fiance Megan, because they watch it together as well. So I think that's everyone, right?
Yeah. And
we're gonna add a new person this year, I think, Lisa Caratelli.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, and her and I bonded over that this summer. So I think we're gonna add her as well.
Oh, we should add her to the Instagram chat.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so then we also have a little like Instagram chat going with all the people that participate in the game.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so we can talk a little bit about it. But I think me, Chrissy, and Geraldine are the only people that watch it on the dot. Friday night,
like so. We are like sitting in our seats. The TV is on, and we are quiet when it starts. But like not everybody else watches it like that,
right?
So we try not to like talk about it too soon to give any spoilers away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. They should all treat it like appointment television, like you.
That's what I'm saying, right?
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's so glorious to have that appointment television back in your life. I mean, it's really amazing.
And honestly, even like coming out of COVID, like for like us doing that with Geraldine was like, yeah, I mean, that was like really changed our relationship after going from like a year, almost a year, not really being able to spend time together comfortably. And then we had this like fun thing to do as a group every Friday night.
Yeah.
When not much else was going on. Like, yeah, it was really, really fun.
And it comes out during like the worst part of winter, and it's such a like beacon of light.
Yes.
That it's like, okay, well, at least we just got to get to Friday and get to Rupaul.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, because that, right, and again, that was the first time we watched it live, was that season 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right, so then it was just like, oh, something to keep us busy January through April.
Yes.
That's great.
So how have they gone? Can you walk me through who's won? Yeah, who won for season one from your guys' perspective?
From our league, Geraldine won the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and I won last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this we didn't do one for the All-Stars that we watched. Because we just couldn't get enough people committed to watching the All-Star seasons.
Right. Okay.
But
also you get kicked off differently on
that's
All-Stars
true. You do get kicked off.
How does that work? I have no idea. Tell me.
So the first one that we all watched together, literally no one got kicked off. So it wasn't. There was no point to it really, except possibly to just pick an outright winner. And then the next one, I think it was just like not enough people were gonna watch it to like even make it worth it, but they do still get eliminated. But they do something where the queens like vote off each other in the All-Stars. It's strange.
Yeah, it's weird.
So it's not just like what's RuPaul gonna like and how's that gonna go. I mean, you could still do it.
Yeah,
but it's just a little bit.
It's a little bit random, right? The funny part, like the thing that I was so fascinated by when I was getting into Drag Race was like, it really is just like whatever RuPaul wants.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Right.
Like she has, her regular judges and, guest judges and stuff, and they might talk about it, but it ultimately just comes down to whatever she wants.
Yeah.
She wants to kick off 2 people one week. Great. She doesn't want to kick off anyone one week. Cool. If she just thinks one person is funny or sexy, like they're gonna do well.
Funny. So you kind of like have this mindset going into it when you are ranking the queens. It's like, okay, there's what do I think, but then what does RuPaul think? Like, is this a queen like RuPaul's gonna like and respond to? So my coworker Natalie, who is in the league, is extremely competitive, but there's no way to really like change your game. Like you pick once,
you get one and done.
Yeah, and that's it. So she's like, I'm winning. This is my year. Like throughout the season, she'll be like, no, I'm gonna win this week or whatever. And I'm like, it's not really like that, but she
wants it to be.
So if there was a way to somehow change it week to week, that could be interesting instead of just the ranking.
Yeah, like a continued draft.
Yeah.
And that would also spur further conversation every week because you'd all have to have that like get together and draft or something.
Or you could choose who you think the bottom 2 are going to be.
Yeah, there you go.
Do something.
Yeah,
you think choose a winner and a bottom 2, so there would be more weekly scoring.
Yeah. Technically, what your friend is saying is that she's going to be right in that she's chosen who's going to go out this week. Because that's the way I would always treat it. So we co-opted your idea and did one season of it with my dad and Jess's parents for a season of Survivor, and we did the same thing, and it was a lot of fun. But it was basically we also added a column that was like that potential points remaining column, right? And it's like that's what we were all keeping track of, is like how many points do you have remaining, and that's where your score was based off of.
Yeah.
And you're basically trying to predict who's gonna go out this week. So and you're not like saying like I'm gonna win. You win if your person you said was gonna go out this week is out.
Yeah, I haven't done a good job explaining the scoring to the people.
They're just like
I'm mostly just like, hey, just rank them. Who do you think is gonna win? Who do you think is gonna like get knocked out next week? And then just rank them all in the middle. That's mostly what I just try to do. Just
Okay.
get that list. Just give me that list.
Just give me the list, okay? Just put numbers on there and just give me the list.
So I have not. I, as a user experience professional, I am not doing my duty to think about my users and explain to them fully how the scoring works, because I don't know. Maybe I should look at like Yahoo and see how they explain the scoring for the confidence picks.
Yeah, or you could go on like Wikipedia or something and do it.
Yeah.
We've wandered off from what's important here. I'm going to pause this game for a second. I wanted to talk about the fantasy stuff, but I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it now in retrospect, because I want to hear more about the excitement over the show. And so I want to bring out my first surprise of something that I wanted to talk about with the two of you.
Okay.
I found this article from Business Insider, the website Business Insider.
Okay.
As we all know, the well-documented, successful, drag-influenced Business Insider.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 22 things you didn't know. 22 things you didn't know about RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay, but here, ultimately the question is, did you know these 22 things as we go into it?
I can't wait.
Okay, let's go. Ready?
Okay.
Number 1, RuPaul said it took only one pitch meeting for the show to be picked up.
Okay, I didn't know that, but I believe it.
The first network was on Logo. Did you? And
yes, we knew that. Yep.
That was where season 1 was on Logo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Matt hasn't watched season 1 yet.
Yeah.
Is season 1 fantastic after you finally found it?
It is so incredibly camp and ridiculous because it is just outrageously crunchy. Like, oh my God, it's wonderful. It's so good.
It took some time for them to find their elegance.
It did. It did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 2, there's one common phrase that many aspiring contestants say when they audition. Do you know what it's going to be?
No.
9 out of 10 people who audition for our show, they'll say these words, and it's funny because we all laugh every time we hear it. They say, "Honey, I will cut a bitch."
That's hilarious.
Who said that?
A lot of them.
A lot of them say it in their auditions.
That's hilarious. I believe it.
9 out of 10 of them say that. That's okay.
Oh, I thought it was a reference from the show.
No.
Okay.
I thought it would be too, but okay.
Yeah.
Number 3, initially some members of the crew thought they were taping a real race.
Okay, wait. Yeah. I have a fun fact. Okay, so this cameraman right here with that little side eye.
Yeah.
He got made over as a drag queen in one episode, and his name was Wintergreen because his drag mother was Peppermint.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I have definitely heard people mistake it, like Drag Race, think of car racing.
Yes, car racing.
Oh, so that's come up before. I would never have imagined that. That's
amazing. And that's the reference with the checkered flag and like.
Of course.
The pit crew, the stage.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that makes total sense. But the show has overwhelmingly taken over the phrase Drag Race.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't even cross my mind that it was automobile related.
Right.
But that's my world.
And you got a really big monitor, Travis. Huh? That's impressive.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, I can fix that.
No, you're fine. I'm impressed.
Is this better? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, I have a massive monitor. Thank you, former employer who I will not reference.
That's right.
No free advertising on the show, except for Business Insider, apparently, and RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah. 2 small businesses. Yeah.
While taping the season, the queens are completely cut off from the outside world.
Yes, we knew that.
What is it? What do they talk about that in certain ways and during the show?
Yeah, they more talk about it after the fact, like queens that have been on, the ones that are like recapping the show. they'll be like, remember, like, you don't have your cell phone, like, you're not talking to any friends or loved ones, like, you are isolated, and that will make you do things and say things because you're like kind of losing it.
And
Oh.
I mentioned this, I think earlier we were talking, I was like, they don't even leave these rooms. There are older seasons where they'll like do activity or competition like out on the street. They really hadn't done that for a long time. And then I think it was what, the last season?
Yeah, the last season.
Season 15, like they actually went outside the building, but it was probably just in like the Paramount
Yeah,
lot.
it was just in the studio lot.
Yeah, just like in the Paramount lot in LA, like driving around.
Yeah, but it was jarring because you're like, wait, this is real life.
Yeah, you don't really ever see them outside of these basically two spaces.
So we're basically also adding Big Brother to the list of things that are part of the show.
In a way,
Yeah.
except it is not really showing them outside of the realm.
Got it. So it's not like showing them having to cook with each other or stuff.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't show them living together, but I think that would be an incredible
amazing series
addition or a totally different series, like to
Real World with drag queens or something.
Like
to
a competition where they have to live together and they have to like
shows,
put on shows,
earn tips.
I think a big part of it is that the
it's no brainer.
This is obviously a no-brainer. Les Moonves and Rupaul, please listen closely. You can obviously add cameras to this place and just put it on, and then these two can just watch it all day, like my dad watches Big Brother.
Amazing.
So the one thing that they do is after every episode of the regular show, they have an episode that's called Untucked. And that is basically like behind the scenes, like what you didn't see when the queens were not filming, but they're being filmed. But it's like basically it's a little bit more of the drama that maybe is not specific to the competition or event at hand. So they do have a 30-minute show after each regular episode that is just like extra drama.
Real world. Just real world.
Yeah.
Non-competition related drama.
Yeah, yep.
That sounds like real world. In fact, one former queen, Willem, was apparently disqualified in 2012 after her husband visited her hotel room. She later insinuated that this wasn't the exact reason for her departure.
Yes.
What do you think?
Willem is one of my all-time favorite queens from the show, and when they got kicked off, it was completely shocking. And it all seems a little bit like muddled because I've heard Willem talk about it, but still not even really say exactly. Like, Willem, I think, believes that the producers really just didn't like him and used that as an excuse because everybody was supposedly doing extracurricular activities that they weren't supposed to be doing. But the one thing that Willem did do that no one else did was super hungover on runway day and puked on the stage.
Don't do that. That's not how you win. I don't think RuPaul likes that when you do that.
No.
Yeah, so I think that was like, okay, you've like crossed too many boundaries at this point. Like, it's time for you to go. But Willem is an agent of chaos and is incredible, gorgeous, amazing, one of my favorite queens who I got to meet in LA.
Oh, that's incredible.
And got a selfie with her. It was awesome. She's awesome, and she's on one of the podcasts I listen to twice a week.
Oh wow! Oh, so she's on quite a lot on the podcast you listen to twice a week. Dang, that's a lot of podcasting.
2 episodes a week. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt this 22 new things to ask something that I didn't realize I was curious about, but I realized I am now, is that you kind of bounced around on pronouns there, and how do you choose the pronouns? And for a moment there, Chrissy, I thought you had it down, like which one wants to be which pronoun, and you knew it. But not to call you out, but like in that couple sentences, you managed to call Willem a he, a they, and a she, all in the course of like 3 sentences.
Yeah, I think that's probably just me. Like, because in my mind I see Willem as two separate people in the same. So a lot of queens out of drag are he, and in drag are she.
Okay.
Or they maybe even want to be they. So
Right.
it does depend on the queen, but Willem is like all over the place a little bit. But I think of Willem as boy Willem and queen Willem. So that's why I jump back and forth.
Got it.
Because
I'm not trying to accuse you, and
no.
any queens that listen to this show, like, know that we want to get those pronouns right, like that.
Oh,
We
for
apologize,
sure.
you know.
Sure. And that's like if a queen is, pronouns outside of drag are, well, there's actually been queens on the show that are female, cis-born female, and there's also trans female to man queens on the show too. So
Oh wow,
the pronouns
they're all over the place.
They're all over the place,
Yeah.
and but definitely to your point, important.
Well, so I had very briefly wondered whether it was something that you took a lot of time to care about, or that was like part of the culture, was to know carefully what the queen's preferred pronouns were. But
I'd pretty much across the board, queens presenting female in drag want to be she.
Okay.
While in drag.
Okay.
If
cool.
presenting female.
All right. But to restate it, we want to get it right for folks. That's
sure.
This is a PC liberal.
And there's drag kings out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely.
But
they haven't been on the show ever.
Not represented on RuPaul's Drag Race yet, but on Dragula, they are represented there.
Oh, well, watch out. Dragula a little more inclusive.
Yes, a lot more, I think.
And it's funny, like something that is also very common with Drag Race is, there's a lot of recurring references, statements, things like that. And Ru used to say, like, right at the end of the introduction, right? She used to say, and may the best
woman
win. And after, they started having more variety on the show, you started bringing in different groups, different dinner types and stuff. Now she says, right, may the best drag queen
win.
May the best queen win. Okay,
yeah. So it's been interesting to see it change as things got more fluid, and but yeah, it is definitely a part of the show, but it is
for sure.
So often on the show they're just referred to as she and queens in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because most of them, they are dressed up and
totally, of course,
female presenting.
Of course. I'm glad I asked, and so now I feel like I understand. Thank you. Okay, next thing was, at the start of the season, contestants are handed an iPod featuring each of the lip syncs.
Oh.
Yes, I did know this because again, the queen's talking about it on the podcasts that have been on the show.
Vintage iPods, that's cool.
Yeah, because they don't want them to have access to the internet.
It's just
absolutely.
Such a rarity.
Do they still sell iPods at the Apple Store?
So I don't know.
Or do they have to go on eBay and like pick up a bunch of like old iPods?
Yeah, exactly.
Different podcast for a different day. This is not the Verge cast. This is Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup. The queens get 2 chances to rock the runway.
Oh.
Yes, I did know that. And
the show makes it look like the queens only get 1 chance to sissy that walk.
Right.
To sissy that walk. Is this a known phrase?
Yes, it's a part of a RuPaul song called Sissy That Walk.
Okay.
And so you can catch it sometimes, because sometimes an outfit may feature a belt in a few, like,
some editing problems.
Yeah, there might be some editing consistency, continuity issues, but again,
not worth overthinking.
Yeah, but
okay, I didn't know that. That's funny.
There you go. So this is really interesting and fascinating. Matt's learning a lot.
I am.
Chrissy
he doesn't dive as deep as I do.
I'll usually listen I'll usually listen to a recap podcast, like one a week when like there's
where
a season
I'm
going
listening
on.
to like 4 or 5.
All year round, 4 all day, all day drag race.
I'm not.
I can
I'm
see how
not
you get
as
burned out.
Yeah, but
That's incredible.
all right, what's next?
Okay, what's next? It takes RuPaul 6 hours to get
my
ready.
God.
I did not know that, but I assumed it would take some time.
We get back there. We start at 6 in the morning. We have tea. We eat. We dance.
my
I
God.
feel like she's goofing off. I don't think she's
Probably.
really trying to
Probably.
get. We
Yeah,
look at
she's
the outfits.
funny.
We just get into it. So yeah, it doesn't really take 6 hours. She goofing
Yeah.
off a lot of it. That's fine. That sounds fun. But
Yeah.
the contestants are typically only given 90 minutes to get into drag. That's
Yeah.
known, right? That's got to be part of the
Yeah.
game.
Exactly. You have to be able to get ready
I mean,
I didn't know that.
quick.
oh,
90 minutes.
90
Seems like
minutes.
they're doing their makeup forever.
I know,
it's
and
Seems
you
like
will
they're
Look
doing
at all
their
that makeup.
80 minutes.
Right, you will see queens that are struggling in some seasons that are like never had to do that before because they always had as much time as they wanted before a gig, and so
Yeah.
that's like a new thing for them and part of the competition for them.
Right.
Yeah, there's been a few queens recently that are basically just for like social media queens.
Uh-huh.
Like they're just on TikTok. They don't do shows. You know, they're not doing the club circuit. So so they've had ones where like they have all day to get ready to make their TikTok videos.
Right, never had to like be on time
Yeah.
at a stage or whatever.
Interesting. 90 minutes. Okay.
RuPaul reportedly wears sweatpants when sitting behind the judges' table. Is that true?
Whoa.
I have heard that because yes, the queen in this photograph during a roast makes a joke about RuPaul, and she's like kind of eggs her on to like
if you could stand up for us, please.
Yes, because it's
Oh.
sort of a known thing that she is not in drag all the way down. She does her like intro, and then she kind of de-drags like so behind the desk. You don't know any different,
She's
Oh my God.
A, she's earned it.
right?
Yeah.
B, she's probably, I mean, she's a bit of an older lady. She's a bit of a silver fox.
Right.
So
Yeah.
she deserves to wear whatever she needs to wear from the waist down.
Exactly, it's her
'cause
show.
Plus, it's her show. So, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Right.
It says Bob the Drag Queen all but confirmed that fact in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in 2020. All
Okay.
but doesn't. I'm not going to click the link. It's not worth it. If she did confirm it, then here it is. It's a known fact that RuPaul dresses are in 2
Known
chunks. Sometimes she'll run the one way and take off all her padding and put on some sweatpants and UGG slippers and walk around the studio. Okay,
Wow. That's funny.
which I would too.
Yeah.
All right, next. He didn't want to get rid of she-male, which many viewers took issue with. What's that?
Right.
What's she-male?
So okay, so if you've ever seen like what was the model one? Top model?
America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
Tyra
America's
Mail.
Next Top Model. Yeah, Tyra Mail. So
I don't know what that is either.
at the top, so it's basically a video message to the queen. So at the top of the episode, the queens come into the workroom. They're kind of just talking shit about the last challenge, and then like an alarm goes off, and it's like she-male. You know, it used to say she-male. But now I think it's like Rumail, or she done already had hers. Is
Yeah.
like so it's something totally different now.
Oops.
Or I forget exactly what it is, but you know, she-male, like
Yeah, I think
like man woman, like
Right.
get it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yep.
so, but people were like, yeah, that's not like a cool thing to call people anymore. Like we're smarter than that. Like we're better than that.
Yep.
Like so.
But like a lot of Rue's comedy is like old school.
yeah, it's old
Yeah.
references.
Yeah,
and
she makes a lot of old timey references. Again, you know, she's older, and so it's kind of funny. Like she's not as sensitive, I think.
It's funny. She's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
Well, right. So a lot of things, like they were very anti having trans contestants for a while because they didn't think that was in line with what the competition was.
Mhm.
And over the years, they've gotten better and more inclusive. And now there's, you know, been seasons where there's like 6 trans women that are competing on the season. So there's been a lot of changes over the years for sure.
Yeah.
And even some of the jokes that they make on the runway, like
yeah, oh my god, yeah, they can be harsh.
Yeah, they could be so harsh before, and now they're just more, they're not focused on the transition from male to female as much. It's more like they focus more on the artistry, because the illusion of being female used to be a bigger part of it than it is now, because gender is so much more like fluid and accepted as a fluid state now.
Right.
Where it used to be like, are you making the illusion?
Right.
So, but anyways. They referenced Tyra Mail. Okay.
Yeah.
The mini challenge known as reading got its start in the documentary Paris is Burning.
Sweet.
I did know this, but I've never seen it, but it's constantly referenced and in other like queer shows that I've watched.
What is reading?
Reading is basically like you are telling someone off.
Yeah, roasting.
You're roasting them.
Playfully making fun of somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're harsh.
Yeah, it's an amazing part of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, I can think we just referenced this a little bit. RuPaul faced more controversy when he said he didn't want transgender queens to participate in the show. So you knew this. Yeah, we not only knew this, we already referenced it. Come on, Business Insider. Put these in the right order. Despite how glamorous it looks on TV, former contestant Willem Belly has claimed it wasn't so behind the scenes. That's kind of similar to something you already said, Business Insider. You got him. And there was Willem. RuPaul used to roller skate off camera while filming the first few seasons.
Well, that's cute. I love that visual.
His famous line, "If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?" was inspired by his mother.
Aww.
Okay, that's sweet. I don't think I knew that.
That's nice. When Lady Gaga appeared on the show, she gave the Queen so much constructive feedback that the producers apparently wanted her to wrap it up.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, she was a really great surprise. Yes.
Wrap it up, Lady Gaga. You can't tell Lady Gaga to wrap it up. You can't tell her to do that. Get out of here. Let her go. Just cut it later.
Right.
Silly.
She was like, they were like, okay, we've got to get back to filming. And she was like, no, I'm going to finish this. Good for her.
Yeah, let them know, Lady Gaga.
Fifi O'Hara said she was supposed to be on season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, but then she got arrested.
Oh my God.
I did not know that about her.
I got arrested for some stuff that was on my background, stuff that I didn't take care of. So that was the reason I couldn't do the first season, because my background check came up dirty.
That is funny, because they did end up being on the 4th season and on an All-Stars.
Yep.
Season 4 of Drag Race. Okay.
Yeah.
Funny.
The winner of Drag Race finds out that they've won with the rest of the world when it airs live. I think that's obvious.
Yes. I did not know that, and I was like blown away when I found that out. Like, I don't remember at what point in which I was watching, but yeah, they just film alternate endings because they don't want it to get.
It's not live.
No. No, so they film it live in a theater with a live audience, but they film alternate endings like so that it can't get spoiled.
Yeah.
Wow.
So everyone thinks they win while they film it,
and everybody in the audience thinks they win too.
Yeah, and then they'll watch it live, and usually they'll have like a video of like
they have a camera crew.
Yeah, the 2 finalists.
Oh, that's so funny.
In a room with the 2 queens.
Oh, so it's basically acknowledged as well that this is
okay.
Yes. But it's weird though. I still can't get over.
That's weird.
I still can't get over that they film all of them winning.
That's weird.
Must be awful.
Right.
Or it must be great, right? They all get to do their.
I guess they all get to prance.
Their acted way of winning.
They all get to see that walk with the crown.
But like, where's that footage? Let me see that footage.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, I want to see those footage of those losing winners. The winning for the losers. They should have that as extras on the DVD. Yeah. There are many heartwarming videos of the winning drag queen finding out that they took the crown. That's in the show you just said.
Yeah.
Tyra Sanchez and Aquaria are tied for the youngest Drag Race winner.
Yeah, what were they? 21? Yeah.
21. They can't be
Babies.
exactly tied, though. Come on. One of them's got to be younger than the other.
Those days. Let's see those
Let's
days.
see the days. Despite the fact that RuPaul is now the most awarded black artist in Emmy history, he once said he didn't want any awards. That's not that terrifically interesting.
Yeah.
The show has produced several spin-offs and companion series. We talked about that at length already. There you go. That's it.
Okay.
I wish I had kept track of how many you knew versus not, but you
right.
knew, like, I'm going to say that completely off my ass, I'm going to say that Chrissy knew 18 of them and Matt knew, like, 14 or something, or 12.
Yeah.
I'd say
right.
I knew like 21. No, I'm just kidding. I knew maybe.
I think it was close to 21. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're like 19 or 20. How about this? Since you didn't get all your friends to be able to be part of this most recent All-Star season, you know, that's what the show is supposed to be all about, is having my friends come on and rant about something they didn't get to talk about. And this is even worse because you didn't even get to talk about it with your friends that talk about this concept with you.
Yeah, but
so tell me all about the All-Star season.
Well, we talked about it with Geraldine, which is like that's the most important. But I think even better and more important than this most recent All-Stars is the season 15. Well, actually, fun fact, the winner of the last All-Star season, we did get to see perform in person in Royal Oak at 5:15. Jimbo.
Yeah.
Amazing, silly, wacky, incredible, impeccable drag. This performer is Jimbo the drag clown. She calls herself Canadian drag queen.
Okay, nice.
Very polite.
Super polite, and her drag is just really goofy, but also like really smart. Yeah. I don't know, like so good, and just kind of wild. But we saw her perform in Royal Oak. It like. Was that during the snowstorm or was that Sasha?
That was Sasha.
Okay, so season 15 of the regular flagship season, we saw the winner, Sasha Colby, in the middle of the season. Like the season was still going and she was doing like a small tour.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so we saw her like the day after she won a challenge on an episode.
Nice.
And I just felt like I was meeting like the president of the United States. I felt so honored. And she ended up winning the whole season.
No way. She knew she was there.
Which I knew she was going to win.
Chrissy did
Straight
pick her.
up, I picked her to win.
Yep.
Okay, so also she did not know in that moment. Now I'm thinking about it. She didn't know she was going to win.
No,
Right.
she didn't.
Yeah.
But she knew she won that episode. But she did not know she was going to win the whole thing. No, she did not. But she probably knew she was in the top 4 going to the finale at that point. Because the season had been filmed already.
Yeah.
But the finale had not been filmed yet.
Okay.
So usually 3 or 4
she knew she was in the finals, but she didn't know she was won. Yeah.
Exactly. So and seeing her live was absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh. And we went during like a snowstorm at like 10 p.m. in January or like February. It was a terrible snowstorm. And completely worth it, risking our lives for it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But this is such a large like task to do. I don't know. You wanna?
Well,
what about your first season? What did you think of your first season? Season 14.
Season 14. Season 14 was interesting because it was also coming right out of COVID. So it just felt like a return to normalcy a little bit. But there was, and we picked up right away. Willow Pill was the winner of season 14, who we actually saw her perform when we were in LA last summer. she ended up winning season 14, and we picked up right away that Rue liked her. Her comedy was really weird. Her drag was, pretty out there, real goofy. And we kind of picked up pretty quickly that Rue was in her.
Uh-huh.
So we did rank, a lot of us did rank her pretty high after our week 1 viewing.
You could pick.
But
You could see it even in that first episode that she was
yes,
really into it. Okay.
right, which is crazy because that happened with season 15 and season 16, right? Like a lot of us put the winner, Sasha Colby, of season 16, we put her up at the top. Most of us had her in what, top 2 maybe? Sasha?
I say top 5,
Ye-
top 3.
Top 3, yeah. But you can kind of get a feeling right at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, like
who
how
Rue
the
is
other
into.
and how the other queens in the room react to them. Like, oh, like I know you, like I've seen you, I've been to your shows, like
Yeah.
things like that.
So you can kind of tell that they're going to be good.
Gotcha.
So I did enjoy watching season 14 overall, and Willow Pillow was a good winner. But it wasn't until we watched the All Stars winners that I saw like these really well established queens,
Yeah, right.
like crushing it, and like
Yeah, they're like professionals.
yeah, like they're basically professional at this point. So it kind of took me aback that, like, thinking, oh wow, like some of these queens are just way more talented.
Because the All-Stars are the ones that are the best, so that's why they're back.
Yes,
But also
yes.
they've had time
And this
to
was-
hone their craft between the time they were on the show and coming back to the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. And also this All-Star seasons that aired after season 14 was All-Stars winners. Like these were like
Oh,
these
okay. These are the
people
best of the
won.
best.
Yeah, these were like the best
This
of
is
the
like
best.
the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions.
Right.
Yes.
And they didn't kick anybody off the whole season.
Oh, that's a good. Okay, that's a weird season. That no wonder. Okay,
Yeah,
that
it
makes
was
sense.
totally weird. Yeah, totally unprecedented. It was great TV, but it also was kind of like it's kind of like how I feel like what Disney's been doing with like Star Wars content. It's just like serving up that fan service.
Oh, total fan service.
Just like, here you go. This is what you want. You want all these like the best queens. No one getting kicked off, just being hilarious
Totally.
and like crushing it every week. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, like the best, most magnificent drag you've ever seen. Like beautiful
Yeah.
gowns, stunning makeup, incredible wigs.
Just a
like,
great time.
Yeah.
Just an amazing time.
So,
Okay.
so super
All right.
fun. But then when it got to the end, it was kind of like, oh, it doesn't even matter who won.
Yeah, totally. But
all.
that makes sense. Like an All-Star
Yeah.
season doesn't
Yeah.
matter as much.
But they won like $250,000.
Yeah, they won a lot of money.
Dang,
Yeah.
maybe it does.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
But-
gonna interrupt you for a second.
Yeah, do it.
My character is almost surely gonna die any second now. I'm gonna take a risky maneuver to try to get out of this situation where I'm gonna die. I'm completely surrounded by these really hard-hitting crawler things.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look good.
The health is real low. Not
They're
looking
like
good.
worms?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to use this skill called duel. And I'm going to point at one of these dudes and try to take them out of this area and fight them one-on-one.
Oh.
And I don't get to do it very often, but I'm going to try it this one time.
Yeah, do it.
And it might save the day, but we also might just be done.
Is that tarantula also coming for you?
This dude's coming for me too, this orb spider back here, yeah.
And what about the other one with the red? Is that...
This down here is dead splotches of dead
okay.
spiders I've already killed.
Okay, you got a lot of guys coming after you.
But there's 4 dudes coming after me right here. So here it is. So this might be the end. We're gonna go one-on-one with this dude right here.
Whoa.
These dudes are all watching us in the arena.
One-on-one. Okay.
And it's this one fight, only chance we got. So now that I'm here, I'm gonna drink a healing potion.
Smart.
Get some health back, and we'll just pound this guy with our axe now. Oh, he's somehow gaining health.
Oh, that's not good.
We're still good.
Okay.
Oh, killed him. Okay. So that was the end of our duel. Now we have to go back.
You have to pour back to that same place.
I think so, but maybe they'll have all moved around or something. Maybe. Oh no, they didn't move around.
No.
We're dead. Oh shit. Okay, so when does the new season of Drag Race start?
January 5th.
Oh no, we're dead. Okay,
on
January
TV.
5th.
Not on TV.
Okay, on MTV. Okay, everybody watch Drag Race. Matt and Chrissy, it was so fun talking to you this evening. I really loved it. I learned so much. I had a great time. Thank you, Internet. Thank you for the time, and we had a great time talking to you. Matt and Chrissy, say bye to the Internet.
Bye, Internet.
Bye, Internet.
Bye. Bye, Beef Boterham the 5th.
R.I.P.